You're listening to Prosper in the Kingdom, the podcast where faith meets practical strategies to help you become healthy, wealthy, and wise. Join hosts John Cleaver and Wendy Lee as they share insights to equip you in your journey toward abundance, spiritually, financially, and beyond. Just a reminder, every situation is unique. The content of this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as specific financial or medical advice.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Prosper in the Kingdom. I'm your host, John Cleaver, with the ever-amazing Wendy Lee.
Hey.
Well, man, we are in October, which, that's fall. The weather's turning a little cooler, and it's my favorite season. And no, I don't mean pumpkin spice season. I'm talking quarter zips. I love my quarter zips. I can't believe this year has absolutely flown by, and we're bringing some valuable information to you yet again today. We're talking today about getting your financial house in order going into Q4. We're here in October, so again, rather than just focusing on the pumpkin spice or the football or the changing of the leaves. That's all fun and that's all good and well, but you want to make sure that you're getting your financial house kind of wrapped up for 2025 so you can hit the ground running in 2026. I mean, am I the only financial nerd out there thinking about this stuff, or I don't know? What do you think? Yeah, I am. Okay, fine. Wow. No, that's big. Hashtag keeping it real, guys.
But that's why we have you, to remind the rest of us.
Right? It's like, hey, don't forget about your money, your moolah. You take care of it, it'll take care of you. So yeah, let's kind of jump into that. And I did write the scripture down. Proverbs 21:5. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes into poverty. So I'm trying to teach people here how to be abundant and get their planning in place so they can have an ever amazing 2026. So the first kind of step into this, and before we get started, be sure to click that like button, give us some love there, click a heart, share this on your social media, and definitely share it on the podcast as well. So I love the fact that we're doing podcasts. I think we're on Apple, I know we're on Spotify and a couple of others. So definitely make sure we're sharing that. But going into Q4, the first thing we really need to kind of assess is really assessing what we've got, kind of taking the inventory, right? So if you're able to take some notes, if you're driving, obviously not, but if you're sitting at home, grab a pen and paper and write this stuff down, because this is going to be kind of your checklist on how to get ready to wrap up 2025 and go into 2024. So number one, we coach on the budget, or what we like to call the spending plan. You want to make sure you review that. And you should be doing that more than annually, but you definitely want to look at it at the end of the year. Is it still realistic? I mean, or have you paid off some debts? Maybe you freed up some capital, that you can apply towards building wealth or whatever the case may be. Are you still on tracking where that money is going, right? I mean, those are your seeds, right? That's your seed for future wealth and for future, health and things like that. So make sure you're not just wasting seed, that you're accounting for every single dollar that comes through. Number two is check your debts. Now, if you've been following along with us for the last year and have been getting your house in order, obviously we talk about getting out of debt, get that monkey off your back. So where are you at? Have your debts hopefully have gone down, or are they kind of staying static, or worst case scenario, they maybe have increased? That's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Let's hit the reset button and say, okay, well, let's start, revamping and regrouping and start attacking that debt as we close out 2025. Let's look at those cash reserves. How's that emergency fund coming? Okay, so that's the third thing you want to look at. And then we've got the holidays coming up, right? We've got, all the holidays. We've got Christmas, which is, what I celebrate. I love Christmas. It's my second favorite season of the year, or holiday of the year, next to 4th of July. Fireworks at Christmas doesn't quite have that same effect. But obviously we celebrate Christmas, and it's one of those things. You've got other holidays, Hanukkah's also going there. But what does that mean? Gifts, right? Buying those gifts for the kids, for the parents, the grandparents, the extended cousins. And maybe you're one of those families that, hey, we're buying, if you're showing up, we're buying gifts. So, whatever the case may be, it usually results in higher expenses. So make sure you keep an eye on it. Make sure you set a budget for your holiday spending on, whether it's $20 a gift, $200 a gift per person, whatever you do, right? Make sure you set a budget so you're staying under that. So January doesn't come and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Or worse yet, oh my gosh, I did it again.
Or
So
say you
again,
don't max out the credit cards you just paid off, or spend
yes,
you just saved up.
Yes, exactly. So, those are the things, again, just starting off with, let's take an inventory on where we're at. Are we on track? Because we want to make sure we finish strong. We still got a whole quarter left, guys. We're in fourth quarter. The year's not over, so we've got some time to make some adjustments. And then also be proactively preparing for the holiday spending season. And for those of you Starbucks junkies out there, you're going to be spending more now to get that extra pumpkin spice latte. So account for that, right? It's got to come.
Which apparently is real pumpkin spice now, according to the commercials.
I would challenge that. Yeah, I would challenge that. Yeah, up till now, folks, that pumpkin spice has had 0 pumpkin in it. So don't be surprised when your eyes glow at night when you turn off the lights. So anyway, but we'll see. So I'm not hating. I'm just stating. So there you go. All right, Wendy, what's the next thing we should be focusing on?
So yeah, some year-end moves that you can make. Number one, take a look at if you're employed and you have a 401k, a Roth IRA. Make sure you're getting that employer match. Make sure you've gotten up to the match that you can this year.
Free money,
yeah,
folks.
It's free money. So another thing to do is review insurance policies. I'm amazed at how many people we talk to and do plans with. We're like, what do you have for life insurance? And they're like, I don't know. I have something that I pay monthly on.
I don't know how much. Yeah, I don't know how much coverage I have. I don't know if it's a term or what type of insurance I have. And a lot of people, folks, they have the old term policies. And there's been a lot of advances in term insurance technology, I guess I'll say it that way, where you can actually access the death benefit and stuff. So if you've got an old term policy, definitely reach out to us. We can help you upgrade it. So sorry, I just want to put that little plug in there because there's a lot of old, outdated policies out there.
Yes. Yeah. And if you're coming up, if you take a look and you're like, hey, my term's expiring this year, then that's obviously another time to say, hey, I need to get with a professional and take a look at this. So you guys can reach out to us anytime, prosperinthekingdom.com. Also, your balances of your FSAs or HSAs, if there's anything you need to use before you lose it, make sure you do that. Another thing is tax planning. Listen, we're coming up. Man, it feels good. It doesn't happen often with me. I'm getting better, but it feels good when you go into the next year like totally prepared with taxes. And you're like, I'm just waiting on those 1099s or W-4s to come in and I can file. So take the time in the holidays when, like most people that have a corporate job, it gets a little slow, right? Take that time. I'm not saying work on your job, but you know what I mean. Look at your charitable giving. If you have a tax professional you work with that can tell you like, hey, I need to spend more money or give more money before the end of the year to help with taxes, make sure you figure that out. Mortgage interest, education deductions, take a look at your tax strategy before you get to the new year. Talk to your accountant, figure out if there's anything that you need to do before January 1 to help lower that tax burden. And then get set for your next year. Start, like John said, looking at that budget. Did you totally screw it up this year, right? Did you set, hey, this is what we're going to spend, and you totally blew that out of the water? What do you need to adjust moving into 2026 and set that plan for Q1, right? January, February, March. What are those expenses going to be that are coming up? Sometimes in the beginning of the year, I know I have a lot of things for my business that hit at the first of the year, annual subscriptions. Take a look at those things and plan
technology. Yeah, I know we've got a technology expense that's pretty hefty every year, and it hits right at the end of the year. So, but yeah, I mean, and then even some advanced strategies that to consider for whether you're an entrepreneur or a professional. Number one, accelerating some of the deductions. Try to get them in this year if you can, and then delaying income where possible. Okay, maybe you've got a big bonus coming up, or you've got some big accounts that are going to pay out a commission or something like that. See if you can take part of it this year, part of it next year, or delay it to next year if at all possible. Obviously, this is where you want to keep track of your income. So many people just say, I make what I make and I pay what I pay in taxes. Well, if you really want to level up your tax strategy game, you need to understand, what is my income, back out your deductions or your standard deduction or whatever the case may be. And that's going to give you an idea where your taxable income is. And if you're close, try to delay that income, right, to next year. And that way it gives you a whole year to kind of plan accordingly. And then, just like you're on your personal side, look at your cash flow situation for your business in 2025 to better plan and prepare for 2026, right? Am I allocating enough towards my marketing? Am I allocating enough towards reinvesting in the business? I see so many entrepreneurs, and especially solopreneurs. We work with a lot of network marketing people or that are in that industry, as far as helping them plan and building financial plans. But one of the things I see is they don't really, plan out that strategy of how much should I reinvest, how much should I, put towards marketing, how much should I put towards technology to make my business even bigger next year. And if you haven't done that, if you're just taking the income and just like, okay, well, that's income to me, I'm spending it, and I'm just kind of doing what everybody else does, maybe it's time to reconsider, how can I level up? Winnie and I are we do a book club, and we're reading a book right now called The Science of Scaling, which is a phenomenal book. Highly recommend it. But it really starts to challenge you to think bigger for, where do I want my business to go, and really stretch that vision. You got to allocate those resources now in order to make 2026 even bigger and better for you. So, things to think about that. But what do I keep as income? What am I reinvesting? And what growth strategies are going to support that? So, again, just some of those additional year-end strategies for those entrepreneurs out there, those solopreneurs to think about.
Yeah.
So, the next piece is, I love this, and I'm going to hand this off to Wendy, but it's faith, freedom, and finances. So what are we talking about when I say that, Wendy?
It's funny. We have this together, and I just made a post recently about, I don't care about being rich for stuff, right? Money is not about luxury. It's about freedom for kingdom impact. So reframing your mind about in 2026, not just, hey, I want to make this much money, but like, why? What do you want to do? What's the kind of freedom that you're going to create for you, your family, and people beyond?
It's not about your income. It's about your impact.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
So when you have your money right, you can you can be bold in your faith without fearing losing a paycheck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People are losing their jobs over opinions these days, or worse. Be bold in your faith. You can provide Christian education to your kids. For my family specifically, that's a huge expense. That's one of our biggest expenses every month is Christian school for our kids. But what a blessing to be able to do that. Right.
Yeah. Most cities, especially, I want to just kind of jump in on that. I was fortunate when my 3 children were coming up. We lived in a very conservative area, and the schools, they were in the same school system throughout pretty much their entire scholastic career, K through 12. And, we were really happy. But as they started getting into their high school years, there was a change happening. We had a migration, of a lot of people from different areas, and it just got more and more open, liberal. I don't know what the term to use, but it's one of those things that, and we were fortunate, in a red state, but so many people are out there, that, hey, my kids are going to public schools, and let's be honest, a lot of those public schools are indoctrination camps. And, if you're, a strong Christian and conservative beliefs, and you don't want to be a part of that, by that financial freedom that Wendy's talking about gives you the freedom to be in control. You can homeschool. Some people can't because they've got they need the dual income. So what do? You can do a cooperative schooling, or you can send your kids, like Wendy does. She's got younger children, to Christian private schools. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about building wealth. And I'm so glad you brought that up, Wendy, because it's not about stacking dollars for luxury's sake. It's not about, hey, look at me in my big fancy car. No, it's about, hey, look at me. I can speak about Christian beliefs publicly, and I don't worry about getting canceled, or I don't worry about losing my job or being told, hey, you can't talk about that here. And I think, like I said a couple episodes ago, I think there's a big Christian awakening happening, which is fantastic to see, but we still got a long way to go. And, this type of year-end assessment really helps you kind of enable yourself to get in the game, right?
Yeah.
To stop
Yeah.
sitting on the sidelines to get in the game. So I just wanted to interject that.
Yeah. And being able to, have you ever sat in church? This is for you listening. Have you ever sat in church and they're bringing up an offering for something? Might be a missions trip, might be a family in need, might be, church building. I don't know, some new program. And you're like, man, I wish I could just write a check and cover that. I don't know. I'm that person. Like there have been times that I'm like, man, I want to build the kind of life and business that I could just be like, 100 grand, you need it, something I care about that I know will make a difference. I would love to be able to write that kind of check, and that's, John and I say this to each other and publicly, but we need more money in the hands of good people to do God's work.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. So, again, as we go into Q4, it's really kind of, it's that time. Okay. Hey, kind of look back, what worked, what didn't work. Don't beat yourself up, adjust accordingly. And that's why you want to do it going into Q4. Don't wait till January 1st. It's, I need to set up my goals and stuff. We're going to talk about goal setting at a future date, some point here in Q4. We're probably going to host our annual event. We do an event every year, which you, the viewers, listeners, are welcome to join to kind of help set for goal assessing for the next year. And that'll probably happen after Thanksgiving, but before Christmas. And, again, this is the time to kind of reflect. And if you did great, good, pat yourself on the back. And then, how can we do even better next year? And then don't forget to grab the person to your left or right and pull them up too, kind of help them get to the top of the hill too. But, number one, as we go into the Q4, you want to get your financial house in order. Okay. Step two is book a one-on-one with your financial planner, or if you don't have one, we'd love to help you out in that area. Everything is private, confidential, and tailor-made specifically to your goals and situation and budget. So go to safemoneyroadmap.com, click that. We'll also put it in the description. And stay anchored in scripture. One of the things that I've really been focused on starting this summer was daily reading of my Bible. And, I had a couple days where I missed it because I had friends from out of town, or, I was traveling or whatever, and didn't, have that dedicated time with. I've got 2 Bibles I read with my highlighter and stuff. I've got a little routine. But I've really noticed when I'm in the Word, my level of just internal joy and performance goes through the roof, right? And it helps me keep the eye on the ball, or my eye on the ball, as far as what this is all about. And like Wendy said, it's not about stacking dollars for stacking dollars' sake and having luxury items and stuff like that. It's what kind of an impact am I making in this spiritual war we're in right now? And that's why we do this Prosper in the Kingdom, the podcast and the videos. We're trying to help you do the same, to help you join in the fight. But I don't know if you got anything else to add to that, Wendy.
No, I mean, other than just now's the time to set those goals for the new year. I know we have a whole quarter left, and yes, you want to finish the year strong, but be prepared walking into 2026. And yeah,
we want to make sure that you don't just survive another year. We want you to thrive, and we want you to prepare to prosper in the kingdom. So everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Same time and same channel. And again, do us a favor, click that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our podcast. That really helps us out and keep the message out there. And again, all of this is free information to help you prosper in the kingdom. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Prosper in the Kingdom. If this episode added value to your day, be sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget to share it with someone who could use the encouragement. For more resources, head to prosperинthekingdom.com. Let's continue building lives of purpose and abundance, one step at a time.
All right.